I appreciate you being here, but please, can you go to YouTube, my YouTube channel, Natasha Venter, so that you can do some posts if you would like, and I would be grateful for that. I am also live on Instagram, and welcome those on Instagram. And as you come into this conversation, just know that this is life, you know. And I wanted to welcome anyone and everyone who's watching, because right now, oh my gosh, I have talked to so many people that they're feeling out of it. They're feeling not very well with life. They're struggling with emotions. Well, I know that we're in a new moon. It happened last night. So this is Wednesday, Tuesday to Wednesday. And many times when we're going through a new moon, for me, I know that it took me a while to go to sleep, for one. And then it takes me a little while to wake up. And I felt kind of out of it for a little while, but yet at the same time, I know how to bring myself back in. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. And then we also had Neptune go into retrograde. And Neptune is a planet, excuse me for a second here, that is very much a planet that is secretly works with us. And it's about emotions, about boundaries, about doing a lot of those things. And so with and then we have this new moon, which we're in the sign of Cancer right now. And I call myself a Cancerian because I don't like the word cancer. I had to deal with that in my family history, and I'm Cancerian. So with that as I go forward, but for me, I know how to work with my emotions pretty well. It's actually what I love to help people work through is emotions. And when we're going through those emotions, many a times, and we're not used to it, we struggle with it. Many of us who are fire signs, like Aries and what's another fire sign? I think that my brain just went pleek. That many fire signs. Aries, Leo, and there's another one. It's Capricorn, I think. Uh, and then we have Earth signs, which are very grounding. Taurus, and no, the Capricorn's an Earth sign. Those signs, and then we have air signs. So that would be Geminis and Aquarians and that kind of stuff. There are a lot in their heads. Well, a lot. If you're another sign, sometimes you don't know how to deal with it. You struggle with emotions. And I know that people who are fire signs that you work with someone who is a water sign like me, that it's trying to put out the fire. It's like, why are you trying to put me out? Why? I don't want to deal with that. Why are we struggling with that? Well, many of us who are that, well, for me, I deal with that every day because of the fact that I'm a Cancerian moon and my sun sign, and then I have a rising sign of Aries. So with that in myself, I struggled with learning how to balance fire and water to make wonderful steam to keep myself motivated. Kind of like a steam train. So with that going forward and managing our life and doing what we're doing and being where we're at, that we struggle with a lot of times this new moon or the full moons or retrogrades and that kind of thing. Well, for me, the one thing that I like to say is I attune my energies to the now. I tune my body, soul, minds, emotions to the now so I can attune to move forward. And attuning, it's kind of like a tuning fork. Matter of fact, I need to find my tuning fork. A tuning fork to bring in the balance. And when I say that, when I attune to the energies of now, let Mother Earth and Father Sky balance me in between, because I have to walk today and I have to do my work today, right? So balancing who we are, coming into this new moon energy, right? And I know that we have 3 days on either side. So, it builds up into the new moon and then it decreases. So there's about 2.5, 3 days on either side of the new moon that the energy is really impactful. And I know this morning that I know that I took the opportunity of the new moon energy. So when 11:11 came along, I went, I'm praying for grace, ease, love. I'm asking for understanding to come around our planet. I asked for those around us to be in more balance. So with that, with the new moon energy, so what do we want? New moon means what do we want to bring into our life, right? The full moon's about what do we want to release, get rid of. But the new moon, hi on Instagram, and who's ever watching here, that as we're going forward and moving, that when we go forward with the new energies, what we think we may receive, right? So if we're in the down spiral of our life, like dealing with the emotions, I know a lot of us are dealing with emotions right now and a lot of life problems, that when we spiral on those, right, we create, what are we creating in this new moon energy? And like I was saying, that can the new moon in Cancer, it's representation of emotions, because cancers are water signs, right? Crabs. you know and what I've learned about crabs, and I was talking to a friend today about this, that I said that us crabs, we know how to get through life because we walk sideways, right? We walk sideways in where we're going. Well, sometimes, me personally, I know how to put myself sideways and walk into the situation a little different, with a different perspective. So life right now may be asking you to take a different perspective to get to where you're wanting to go, right? Because I'm sideways, but I need to go somewhere. Also, too, it's asking you to have a shell on, maybe a little bit, because remember, cancer crabs have shells, right? And we hide, and crabs like to hide under rocks, or they have one claw bigger than the other sometimes, to get what they want to eat, right? And they're very much into devouring what's going on. Hi on Instagram. And so with that, the as we're talking about the new moon energy and how can we manifest, how can we uh, be on this moment and going forward in our lives and managing our lives. And sorry, on Instagram, I'm not going to have anybody live on today's show. I want to respect the show that I'm supposed to do, and so thank you for wanting to be on. That going forward with this new energy, we're really dealing with a lot of emotions, right? So how can we deal with these emotions and think about moving forward in our life? I mean, I know that our government, if you're in the United States here, our government is making some huge decisions. And I know other countries are having major decisions made for them too. And we're not in control of that. But what are we truly in control of is how we react to something. So I'm inviting to you, because I love to be bringing some truths in to see how they fit into your truths. Remember, your truth is your truth, but how can you fit your truth in to this new knowings of where we're supposed to go? Well, I'm telling you, I'm not liking all the decisions that my government is making, but I can either choose to react, which it does stir me, or I can do better in my own personal life, because of the fact that when we're going through our lives and going through our management, then we end up being a part of the bigger picture. The only way to heal negativity is to be on the loving side of positivity, right? And there's many times where I start to spin. I'm human, I spin too. Me being an intuitive medium, a psychic medium, personal life coach, a personal awareness life coach, I know a lot of tools and I end up spinning too, but I can recognize it when I do. So when I start to spin, and what I mean by the spin is talking negatively. Why am I doing this? Why is this going on? Why are we not doing this better? Why? And I get caught up in the bigger picture of what's going on in the world. And that's where I tell myself to stop. Just stop, Natasha, stop and breathe. And so today, this morning, I was feeling all the energies going on. There's a lot of decisions being made, right? And going on around. And When I was doing that, I told myself to stop. And I went back to me. Okay, in a meditative state, I asked, what is my next steps to take? What are my next steps to take? Okay, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to take steps, right? And so here I have found a place that I can teach a class for a weekend, right? And I can rent the space and I'm getting the download on it. And I was like, well, what can I teach? I can take the weekend and meditate on the different chakras, right? So I'm getting these inspirations as I'm meditating. I don't know if this is going to come into fruition, right? But at the same time, I can make plans for next year. I have so many possibilities come in. Now, if anybody watched my show with Pat, and I know on Instagram I didn't do that, but you can go to my Patty. If you go to my YouTube channel, Natasha Venter, I have a show on with Patty, and it was last Wednesday's show actually. Seems like weeks ago already. That it's about um, uh, motivation. What can we motivate ourselves to have? What can we manifest? What can we bring forth in our lives? That was right before the full moon, so or the new moon. So the build up to this new knowing. Well, I can tell you, my world has flipped upside down in the last week because of my navigation of bringing in love, bringing in life. Because I know for me that I do struggle sometimes with those emotions of negativity and that kind of thing. But at the same time, I if I'm really getting down, I'll turn on music to shift my energy, right? Because I'm a dancer in heart and I love to dance even if I dance around the house. I was not a ballet dancer, but I love to move. I love to dance. And so with that I would dance around the house. So for me, turning on music changes my energy. Now, one thing that I do too is that a lot of times when I'm going to bed or I am waking up in the morning, my head starts spinning. It starts thinking, right? So what I end up doing is grabbing a book and I start reading the book so that I'm thinking about the book, not about what my brain is trying to talk about. And so with that going forward in our life, many times if we can change what we're thinking at the time, especially at the brink of a new moon, what are we manifesting in our lives? And I can tell you that many of us manifest what we think, which is not all that good, right? Oh, God, my life is terrible. I suck at this. Things are sucking around me. I'm pitiful. Why isn't life working my way? Where am I supposed to go after these? The government's doing this and doing that. Well, I can tell you though that even though things are happening around us and things are happening to us, that life can happen. I know since the beginning of this year, I've had 4 people I know pass away, and some of them were very close. And I'm on the road of a couple more going here before soon. And I know that I've struggled a little bit with sadness because I've missed people. But I can tell you though that an example is I went down to Florida for my father-in-law's service, and we stayed with this wonderful woman. She was able to say to my mother-in-law uh, that I really want your family to stay with us, stay with me during this time. And this wonderful woman who was 90 years old opened her house up to the 4 of us. It was my stepson, my son, and my husband and I. This 90-year-old woman, she was amazing. She played cards 3 times a week. She went to church every day of the week besides Saturday. Yeah, every day of the week besides Saturday. And then she was going up and down the stairs. We were on Turtle Beach in Sarasota, and it was a wonderful, gifted time, right? And I knew somewhere in me that I needed to take advantage of sitting down with this woman. How many women or how many people, I'm not going to call it women, how many people still are around who lived through the Depression firsthand, or the end of World War II and the beginning of the Korean War, and then the Vietnam War. And so after everybody went to bed, I would sit down because she went to bed a little bit later, and so did I. That we would talk firsthand about the Depression. And like when she said about the Depression, because this was a very bad time in our country for many, but like she said, that she didn't know really any different. That instead of buying something, her family bartered. She said her dad was a mechanic at the time, and so was able to work on people's vehicles and trade for food for the family, right? And so then that food, the mother would make the food, and there were certain people that didn't have the food, and so the mother would, for the soup of the day, would open up the back door and feed 5 people, right? Because that was, you give around, right? And so she says, I didn't know any different. Really, we played in the streets, we played with friends, we wore hand-me-down clothes. Luckily, I had friends of the family who were a little bit better off, who had a girl that was just above me or a little older than me that gave me clothes that my 3 sisters didn't wear yet, because clothes did wear out in those times, right? And so with that she saw it as this time when it was just about getting back down to those basics, getting back to what do we do to make ourselves be able to succeed in the moment we're at. And I learned a lot from that conversation, right? About how, taking opportunity. And then, she talked about her husband who was in the who was, had to be in the Korean War, right? Or was it World War II? He got asked to be in the war. He got, what is it? I know what the word is, where the government said that you have to be in the war. And it ended up where he was so good at paperwork, and he was ready to be transferred out, but he heard someone say that, oh, I just got a job in the office. And he walked up to the guy and said, how did you get a job in the office? I went up and asked. And her husband said, you just asked? And that's the thing about life is that many of us stay quiet in our callings. We stay quiet in our emotions. We stay quiet in what we're dealing with. But I can tell you that she said that, yeah, my husband went in, asked for a job. They needed a secretary. He could actually type at that time. A gentleman could actually type in the government of males, right? And he was a great organizer. So by the time he got done, he had the office so organized, and the people coming in that needed to come in, who were asked for by the government to come in, and then moved them out so quickly that that they were so efficient. So when he found out his wife was pregnant and they wanted to move back home, and he asked again, can I be transferred? Can I be transferred? I know because of where I work, there's a position for me there. Can I be transferred? And they ended up transferring him because he talked to the right people. And that's the thing, that when we're creating something new in our life, right? We're creating something new in our life. When we want to create something new in our life, be willing to talk to someone, because you never know. I know for me, in the manifestation that's happening with me, because I do inspirational feng shui. Also, I feng shui people's homes, and going through and working. And mine is more of a practical, lived-in feng shui practice, where I know people have messes. I know life happens, but how can I help your home be happier? How can I help your home be better? Right? Because I want to leave people better than I find them. And so with that in this last week, I've had opportunities coming up left and right because of the fact that I decided to stand in my life, stand up and communicate. I didn't necessarily communicate by, hey, can you do da 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 with me? I said, you know what? I have a feeling that I just needed to talk to you about something. And do you mind listening? So it's part of that process of the breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. In other words, you know, ask for something, but be willing to do the work to get it. And many of us are struggling to get up and go to work in the morning, right? We don't want to work anymore. Well, that's the part of this new energy that's coming in with dealing with our emotions. And if anybody has been watching my videos, I have done a series since Monday on how a rose pertains to our life. We have the stalk of the rose. Sometimes we have to weed around the base of the rose, which is our family's past histories and emotions, right? And then we're coming up to the stalk, and then, the old stalks that we need to trim off. And then it blooms all of a sudden with great ideas, but then we have to trim off some ideas because they don't work anymore, right? So, how can you move forward in this knowing of where we're at by just sitting down and going, my life isn't happening for me. My life is not happening for me. Well, what are you creating in your life if you do that? Right? So here again is that moment of inspiration. But remember that these emotions that we're going through, the grief that we're going through, and I know for me right now, I'm seeing lot of 9/11, and a lot of people think 911, right? I need help, right? No, 9/11 for me is 9 is about endings and 11 is about magical new beginnings, because the number 1 is about new beginnings. And if you have 11, and the number 11, that's a master number, which is about new beginnings, master connections with the universe. So endings with masterly, magical new beginnings have opportunities. But we have to believe that the ending that is happening, ouch, that freaking hurts. I know for me, I'm going to maybe have to leave a place I love to be. Don't know yet, right? But if the thing that I'm walking to gives me into the process of being able to move forward, then I'm going to have to move with it, which means leaving people behind that I love and care about. But that doesn't mean I can't volunteer, right? Oh, that just popped in my head. See how things just pop in heads? Ideas pop in heads. I'm intuitive, yet at the same time, though, I'm not the only one who gets ideas. Ideas come from to anybody and everybody. So believe that these ideas, even if they're not totally make sense at this time, let them create like a bud on a rose. Your ideas can't bloom all of a sudden, right? They have to they have to create a new stem off the old stem, right? And then they come up and then they create this bud off the leaf, right? And then this bud starts moving forward. And today, I'll post later today, this one bloom out of this one bud had 2 buds coming out of it. So sometimes we don't need to create one idea, right? We can create a multitude of ideas. Now, like for some of these people who are opening stores, they're opening up stores who, like, let's say, a candle shop. They're only going to sell candles. Well, many times, why are you just going to sell candles? Can't you sell candle holders? Can you sell incense? Can you sell maybe crystals? Can you maybe sell, uh, uh, let's say, bath situations? Because many people like to have candles when they're in bath. Can you maybe have something that I wouldn't say is romantic, like some of these romantic stores, but you can have something that is romantic because candles are about romance too, right? And you can create these other things in with this magical store, because then you can have actually other gifts in your store too. So, in other words, instead of just having candles, you can create many more things. And then you get people who come in for, let's say, a card, and they bought a candle with it, and then they bought another gift. So remember that ideas can build on one another. Just like me going to do this feng shui at this one cabin, ended up interacting with the owner in a very loving way. We're getting to be more interaction with each other, right? Maybe it's time to start teaching overnight classes there. Oh, the logistics is about food. Well, I never know what the universe is going to manifest for me, right? I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there to see how we can navigate through these waters. Because we never know what is going to be planned in the midst of things, right? Because our mind and our emotions like to limit it. And it's okay if you're emotional right now. I'm telling you, it's okay, because I can tell you that many of us are going through something that deems us to be emotional. Because I can tell you, this is the week that my father passed away. Let's see, my kid is going to be 29. So 29 years ago, because I was pregnant with my first child when my father passed away. So 29 years ago, this is the week that my father passed away. Well, finishing my story about the woman in Florida, the house that we stayed at, my mother-in-law called me this last weekend and said that she passed away. My mother-in-law said that she played cards with her on Friday and she fell asleep and didn't wake up during the weekend. What a way to go. Falling asleep. Well, what a moment that I can go back to and have a loving, cherishing moment with a woman who I had some very life-altering conversations because I stayed in the moment of where I was at. And then at the same time, being on Turtle Beach, where sea turtles come up and give birth to new turtles who go back to the ocean of emotions, the water of emotions. And so with that as we're going through this transformation of where we're at and decisions are being made around us, I can tell you that the universe around us is giving us many messages that if we're willing to not get bogged down in the politics of the mind, the politics of the TV, the politics of the world, actually the sun is shining on me. There's a rainbow my eyes are witnessing. I have like yesterday, oh my gosh, I walked under a tree of two bald eagles, literally no taller than my house tree, two bald eagles. What magic was in that? But I had to be in the moment. And I witnessed, as we're doing a kind of a walk where there's certain groups that have to do certain walks, and it's and then you do a puzzle, and there's certain things you have to do along the way. Well, I witnessed four people who looked up and went, and kept walking. They were on the journey, they were on the destination, not the journey. And then us four I was walking with walked under these two eagles, and we stood there and watched these magnificent beings look down at us with these beautiful talons and these beautiful, and just seeing these strong beaks that do things to animals, rip them apart, that these magnificent energies that we walked under. Guess what? These male and the female, you can tell because one was bigger and one was smaller, that and they had a nest right over there, so they were creating a new family, right? They were sitting in a dead tree. What a metaphor. Sitting in a dead tree. So the tree of life, that tree that they were standing on, that we were witnessing them on, was dead, but it still had vitality. It still had need, right? because it gives refuge to birds to stand on. And and when we're going forward in our lives and moving forward, remember that whatever is dying away still has maybe purpose in our love and our heart, but yet at the same moving forward is what we need to do. So turn off the politics of our head, turn off the politics of the TV, turn off the politics of where we're at, and believe that even though, like me talking to the 90-year-old woman who lived through the depression, lived through three wars, because she was at the end of World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. She had to raise children during that time, that they actually succeeded in their family because they found the need to do as they went. They didn't listen to the politics, they listened to their calling. So, and it was interesting to listen to how she explained how her and her husband would be doing something, and then all of a sudden they would get the feeling that it was time to change something, and they'd follow it. And then when they followed it, they when they followed it, they found that they were in better sync time. So in other words, at one time they were up in Chicago doing things with, they were repairing the steam engines for the trains, right? Well, they felt the call to move to Florida all of a sudden, so they moved to Florida. Come to find out that they sold the business, and within that year, the train system changed, and the war changed, and things happened differently. So they sold out at the right time. And then they wanted to do a certain kind of, I think it was a hardware store, and were going to put money in a hardware store. But then at the same time, somebody came up to them and said, "You don't want to do that. The box stores are coming in. You don't want to do that." And so then they decided to go into something else, and they were successful, right? Uh, so on Instagram, hello, my friend. I say you help me. I'm a poor man. My father said I have money for birthday hospital. Please help me. Okay, so I will send prayers that you get helped. Okay, thank you for reaching out. And I'm sorry that you're having a hard time. I know that a lot of us are having a hard time. So, what I would invite for you is that you put out there that there is hope, that you're going to receive what you need. And sometimes we have to have blind hope. We have to have blind faith. And it's not necessarily faith in a higher power. Just you can have faith in the universe around us that we're going to be having something, and that you'll be taken care of. Because I know for me that, like when my mom had Lou Gehrig's disease and we didn't have much money, and we were struggling and needing to buy a house, and husband changed jobs, and had a 4-year-old and a new baby, and just things were happening left and right, and I didn't know what was going to happen in my world, but I had to put blind faith into something greater than me. And when I had that blind faith and I had that trust that I will be taken care of, that no matter where I was, I was. Because even if I didn't have, let's say, the ability to take care of my mom, somebody magically came in at the right time, even if it was my husband, who at the time was an alcoholic, drinking pretty heavily. But at that moment, he was sober enough to do and help, right? So we never know what's going to happen around our world if we put the trust out there. And we need to communicate. Okay? Uh, so that we need to communicate. Sometimes we need to communicate to services that we need to say, I can't do this right now. Can somebody help me? But some of us sit with pride, and some of us sit with understanding that, no, I can't ask for help. I'm not worthy of that. But believing And many times I have to go into a situation personally. This is my personal belief system, and I'm inviting you to look at it. What is this here to teach me? Do I believe? Because I want to say to you on Instagram, you said, I am a poor man. So when you say I am, can you say, I am someone who is in the midst of finding my wealth? Can we change that around? I am someone who is in the midst of finding my wealth. Doesn't that spring differently? I honor where you're at. I do. I'm not trying to dishonor where you're at. Believe me. At the same time, though, we all are somewhere. But I can tell you those times when I sat in the, I don't have any money. I don't, I don't, I. When we claim the I, it sits more with us. So why don't we claim new moon, right? New energies, new possibilities. I am finding the wealth in my life. I am finding the people who can help me in the situation I'm in. I am finding the grace of the best people who can lay the hands on the people who need to be put on. I know that someone is probably watching right now that their parents are going into the hospital themselves, and that's where you call in. I am asking for the best people to touch and heal the people I love. So, with that, putting prayers out there for you. I'm putting prayers out for everyone. And I do every 11:11, 1:11, anytime I think, anytime I pray. I pray that all they can feel the love and feel the wealth of their wisdom of who they are. I pray that, everybody is taken care of and we will have the wisdom to walk forward. And I pray that there's the right people to do the right things for these people, because we all are worthy of where we're at and going to go to. And it's us many a times that slows ourselves down by the way we think, because from generations of less thans. Well, can we be the first generation that has something? We're worthy of that. And it's not necessarily, thank you, yes. And it's not that, you look at my home and I have things, but I can tell you half of what I have came from either garage sales or thrift stores or discount clearance items. The house I'm in is half my mom bought. My husband has worked very hard to keep this home. He has a high integrity. Even though he was an alcoholic, he still put money in the bank. I don't know how, but he did. He has high integrity that way. So, with that, trusting the process, because even going back to what Mary, who has now passed, said, that even during the years of depression, this 90-year-old woman looking back at the time that she was a young girl in the middle of depression, she said, my dad traded. My mom worked for the greater good. We traded off. One had something, one didn't have something. One had a tool or a way to work, and the other one didn't. And I know right now in our world, the way that it's changing, and our government not thinking of the smaller man. And I'm not meaning small by small. I'm meaning zillionaires compared to everyday workers, right? That they think that they can make decisions for us. And it's sad, but I can tell you that when I can interact with myself, come back to me, come back to knowing that my feet hurt because I've been on my feet all day, and I can honor my feet by sitting and relaxing at the end, right? Being willing to do the work to get there. There's sometimes where I don't want to do certain things, but I still get up. Now I may turn on music somehow and do what I need to do to change my mood while I'm doing it. But that's the thing is this new moon with Neptune in retrograde, triggering our emotions and our boundaries, and things are happening that we go forward in, and it's troublesome. So with okay, so you wrote something that is nice, that I like that your life, but you see, I'm suffering. You please, I'm giving, I'm going to school and I don't have payment to go to school. My father is not as strong. My mother is understanding. Please, my friend. Okay, so I understand that we all are in a situation, and I can only give you love and prayer. Okay. And that's what I can do is I can ask that whatever situation you're in, that I am praying that I receive the monies to do my calling that I'm called to do. And this is the thing that I want to offer to anybody who is watching right now. That sometimes when things don't work out, we're not meant to be there, or we need to take a step back and reevaluate why we're doing it. I know for me that the job that I'm doing, the universe may be asking me to end it, right? But I have to trust that the universe will give me monies in the meantime. And I pray for that. I light a candle for that. Let the manifestation of life come to me. Let me be fulfilled in where I'm going. Let me have what I deserve to have so I can give back by my time and my talent. So I can spend money for the internet prices so I can give these shows, right? So doing what we can do and being where we're at. Know that we all are going through something, and I pray, and I just pray, I pray the right people and the right monies come to those who need it so that they can have what their calling is. And if they cannot, then I ask they find their path with grace and ease and love and light. So be it, and amen. Because we're all in the midst of doing something, going forward. So, on these Wednesday shows, I think this is a great segue. I pull uh, oracle cards, and oracle cards are for guidance. So, if anybody is watching who would like an oracle card, I would love to do that. And 6113 Bob, I would love to pull a card for you. These cards are, let's see, I'm going to do angel cards. Okay. I got a new deck. Dragon cards. Dragon cards. Dragons are, oh my gosh, amazing. Amazing. So I have a dragon card and I will read that. I'm also going to do the Path of the Soul. The Path of the Soul is cards that look like this, and it helps bring up. And what you do is that you tell me which card you would like, and then when I'm shuffling, you put an intention of what you'd like to hear. But I will pull a card for you, 6113 Bob. I will pull a card for you. And the Path of Soul is actually calling to me for you. Okay. So as I shuffle, I would like you to put your intention, and this is for the greater good. I am only asking for love and light. I'm not pushing on anybody's belief system. This is just something about trusting the bigger picture. Okay. So if you can put something out there. There we go. Oop. I shuffle one more time. Ah! Okay, which one wants to come? This one. Oh, isn't that pretty? 28. 28. 2 plus 8 equals 10, which is 1. So new beginnings. Bring numbers down to a single digit. So, and it's green. Whew. So 28. 28. 28. Dreaming. Dreaming. Your dreams are playing a very important part in both your waking life and your spiritual development. The answers you seek to your deepest inner questions are being answered. You are receiving messages and advice through the dream time. Take a serious note to all your dreams. There is much being given to you from an astral realms. This is also called to strengthen your intuitive connection through meditation. Take time each day to meditate, as this will aid you in remembering and clarifying your dreams. Okay, so I'm telling you that this card is actually a great card because many times our dream state is our awakened state. So what are you being told in your awakened state? What is the messages around you? Believe in the positive ones. The negative ones are the shadow work to do. Okay? So I hope that helps you, knowing that you are on a path and it's time to call in the better in your life and believe you are. So your new mantra for yourself is, I am wealthy in every realm of my life. I am wealthy every realm of my life. Isn't that a great mantra? And I can tell you the times when life is spinning around me, the more I can stop and breathe and just sit for a moment and not get caught up in the tornado of life, the more that I can see how to interact than react. I hope that helps you very much. I hope that helps. Okay, so I'm pulling oracle cards. So does anybody else want an oracle card? So this one popped out. This must be for everybody. So here's another one, because it literally fell out of the deck as I was picking it up. Isn't that beautiful? So I will read this one. So 35. So I don't know if this one's for you, Bob, or not. So 35. So 3 plus 5 is 8. So the infinity sign, right? Hi, Veronica. So which one deck would you like? Would you like the dragons, the angels, or the path of the soul? So I'm going to read 35. This one might be for everybody. Yes, I feel like it's a universal card. 35. The Royal Order. The Royal Order. I'll get that for you, Veronica Dragon. The Royal Order. We play important roles in each other's lives. We aid each other on the journey to oneness and ascension. Before we can play an integral role in helping others, we have to first take care of ourselves. The Royal Order is about keeping within the divine order of life. Be sure to care for this physical vessel that you are. Remember our bodies, right? It needs to run and function properly. You have an important part to play in the lives of others. So make sure you take care of yourself first. So remember, taking care of ourselves sometimes is sitting down and breathing instead of getting caught up in the tornado, right? I hope that helps. Okay, Veronica, I will get your dragon card. Your dragon card. Is there anybody else who would like a card? So I have dragon, and then angel, and then the path of the soul card. So if anybody else would like one. So dragon. Okay, so these are newer cards for me. So I'm going to shuffle them. Okay. So Veronica, if you can put in your intention, I would be grateful. What is the thing that you are asking? Or what intention would you like to hear? I don't need to know it. Just put the intention out there of what you'd like, and the dragon will align. Clear the cards first, I'm feeling. There we go. Oh, that's cleared it up. They're still integrating themselves into the realm of where we're at. Woo! Did you see that card fall out? I guess dragon leaped. I don't know if you saw that, but that was like, wow. I love it when the universe does that. Balance. The dragon is balance. Oh, that was funny how it just literally flew out of my hand. Balance. And the yin and yang sign, balance. I think that this is one that uh that uh that you can use for everybody can use this. Okay, so balance. Hi, Stacy. Yes, you would like a card. If yes, I do have time. So, would you like the Path of Soul? Would you like dragons, or would you like angel? And these are Doreen Virtue's angel cards. Okay, so I'm going to read for Veronica, and she got balance. So let me find balance. I just opened it up to balance. Boy, I think the universe really wants you to have this card, Veronica. Okay, so balance. Please put up with my reading today. Okay. So, what you are experiencing in your life now is transitional. This dragon balance depicts aspects of us as a whole, our light and our shadow sides. As humans, we show the world our many different sides, for we are magnificent and can change forms from situation to situation. This aspects could include our compassion, frustration, love, intention, joy, and so on. His appearance in your spread is to remind you that everything is perfect, even if the situation you find yourself in is pushing your buttons. Oh, isn't that? Balance says, fear and frustration only serves one purpose, and that is to disempower. Life on earth is all about achieving a personal equilibrium, seeing things for what they are, balancing your daily activities and demands with time to laugh and play. You run the risk of becoming too serious and caught up in the dramas that are unfolding in your life now by not allowing yourself time to play. You can call upon my energy and wisdom to guide you to be more balanced in how you view or feel about your situation. You cannot have darkness without light, sun without the moon. Do you need to learn to say no or to look at your personal boundaries? Are they being crossed too often? Maybe you should say yes to things which, although they make you fearful, will assist your personal and spiritual growth. Remember that what you are experiencing in your life now is transitional. It won't last forever. This much is this this, like much of life, is a phase, a lesson, and it too will pass soon. If you find yourself in a perplexing situation, ask for his wisdom to be bestowed upon you. Balance will guide you to understanding, to know your inner heart, what you can do, or indeed, if you need to do anything at all. Sometimes all is required is to be patient. Wow. What a message. I think everybody could use that message today, but I think that was a really good one for you, Veronica, knowing what you're going through. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Dragon. Thank you, Dragon Balance. Thank you. Okay, so Stacy, all I'm asking you to do is just put out your intention, okay? Put the intention of what you would like to have. Woo. Let me do something real quick here. Sorry. Thought I had a book for the angels, and I don't right this minute. Because it's right there. Boy, I love being told something. Okay. Because I can give my own intuition about this, but I sometimes it's nice for somebody to hear it. So, okay. Oh, so Veronica, remember, it's time for you to find those little moments of joy as you struggle with doing things. And I know for me, putting on music is my moments of joy. Sometimes I sit in the car and listen to a good music before I get out into my world. That's my moments of joy. Okay, so you for Stacy. Angels. Clear the cards. There we go. Okay, so just shuffling. Woo! I guess that one was yours, Stacy. There's 2 cards ending up on the floor today. Bethany. Bethany. I love her. When you take excellent care of yourself, everybody benefits. Give yourself a relaxing treat today, such as a massage, sea salt bath, or pedicure. Wow. Yeah, because we do take care of others a lot and we forget to take care of ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to do Bethany. Excuse me. Bethany. Bethany's additional message. You are a giver, and God loves you for that. Now is the time to give to yourself. I am helping you to spiritually open your body through the process of relaxation. So you see that relaxing has its own productive side to it. So here she says, the more that you allow me and the other angels to give to you, the more you'll be able to give to others. Your soul has called Your soul has called out to heaven, begging for some rest and relaxation. You have been working ceaselessly, and you have also been juggling many other people's interests. Now it's time for your reward. This is a descriptive form. Okay, so heaven, take care of yourself and don't allow yourself to be swayed from this important mission. Take steps right now to create time for relaxation. You will feel happier and have more peace of mind as a result, which will benefit everyone in your life. Another game of golf? Bethany. Thank you, Stacy, for showing up when you did. So with that this is our story about, if you take the theme of the cards, right? Balance from the dragons. It was about taking care of us and about standing in our power, right? And then Bethany, it's okay to be quiet and take care of ourselves. And no matter where we're at, that life is going to happen around us. We're getting a lot of things aiming at us energetically. New moon energy, we have a lot of the astral planes that is doing our work. We're having flares from the sun. We have new star beings coming in that are really interacting with us energetically. We have the 3D world of the politics of the life and managing decisions where people like and people don't like. Holy crap, where can we stand upright? And then we have to deal with our own stuff. Remember, new moon, positive thinking. Even if we're struggling right now, I am manifesting greatness in my life. I'm manifesting the things that will help me walk to my greater good. I'm manifesting the world around me to be in balance, with who I am and my inner calling. I will have the monies and the people available to me to do my work if it is my path to do it. If it is my path to do it. Many of us have thought that our old story of what we should be is where we're going to end up, or what our families have said us to be. And sometimes that's not our inner calling, and we have to take check in that. So be aware that this is a time to really look deep into our core and say, is this what I should be doing right now? If you need any assistance, you can reach me at angelicclarifications.com, Natasha Venter at angelicclarifications.com. I'm a medium, personal awareness life coach, inspirational Feng Shui consultant. Change your world, change your environment. If you have something that's broken all around you and you have a lot of clutter around you, many times if we clean up that clutter, believe me, I got clutter, I got to clean off my counters, that many times that helps the inspiration of new to come in. Blessings to you on your journey. And Bob, if I can give this that your health corner or your financial corner, which is your financial corner is your far left corner and your health is to the middle of your left, that you might want to look at on your helpful people is to your right. You look at those places, and if you've got a lot of old garbage, boxes, disarray, that might not be helpful to you. Talking feng shui, by the way. Okay. So if you straighten those up, fluff them up, like for me, my helpful people corner is my laundry. And so if I'm not doing my laundry regularly, then my helpful people corner gets stagnant. Blessings to all, and I will see you on Monday. We are here Mondays and Friday, and Mondays and Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Pacific time. And on Instagram, I'm here on Wednesdays if I do not have a guest. I have had a guest lately, and so you can always reach me at 4 o'clock Pacific time on my YouTube channel, Natasha Venter. Please subscribe or like where you're at. I can use your assistance in following me. Blessings to all, and know that no matter where you're at, you're in the perfect place for where you to learn how to change your mindset so you can receive a greater life. Blessings to you. Bye now.